remember this moment. I was on the beach in Hawaii. We were traveling, preaching we did Orlando to Hawaii, then Hawaii to Guam, then Guam to Indonesia with children. I don't know why we thought that was a good idea. We're like, let's take 4 kids on a missions trip. Yeah, so I dressed all of my boys in matching neon bathing suits so I could count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 at the beach. And I was standing on the shore and I heard the Holy Spirit remind me that I loved being out of control, that I actually loved swimming in dangerous waves, that I loved feeling like I could recreate.
Reminded you this?
Yes, because I had become completely bound to fear.
Really?
Completely bound to fear. So I'm counting my kids.
Yeah.
And I remember him saying, dive in and swim out there. And I thought, no, I don't like it anymore. I don't like the ocean anymore. I don't like getting my hair wet. I don't like doing all this stuff. I don't like worrying about a bathing suit. And he's like, I made you to actually live in the danger and the deep. And you were created for that. And so I looked at John and I said, watch all the boys. I'm going out there. And I went out, we were on the Oahu Beach with surfers. They were like cussing at me because you're not really supposed to be swimming in the surfing channels. But there was like this moment where every stroke I took with my arms, I felt like something was breaking off me. And I had swam competitively for 12 years. And it was the most wild, amazing moment. And it was like God had me do something to illustrate this dynamic. And then the funny part happened. Then I come back to the beach. I'm so excited. I go, yes. And my bathing suit top goes flying off. No. It was snapped in the front. I dive flat down. My husband said all he saw was a flash of white. But I threw a towel on me and we went back to the bathing suit store. And I'm like, I think you owe me something. But that's just the story of my life. You know, this moment, and then my bathing suit goes flying out. Yeah, it was hooked in the front. Anyway, but yeah, I love it when God gives us a reminder, because I was a fearless child, and then at 5 years of age, lost an eye to cancer. And a spirit of fear came in so strong that God had to say, no, that's not who you are. You learned how to swim because they wouldn't let you go off the high dive. Because I used to jump off the 10-foot high dive with an inner tube, and they finally said, I'm sorry, your daughter cannot swim. And so God will take us in situations and remind us of who we are, and take away this self-consciousness so that we have an awareness of who He created us to be. Now, has anybody else had an experience of that, minus the bathing suit top becoming unhinged on a public beach?
That's the best story.
I have had that where you feel the Holy Spirit quicken you with you were made for this.
Yes.
I think in my life, there's been seasons that I've kind of tried to orient my life for comfort. And then I realized I actually wasn't made for comfort. I was made for risk. I was made to be comforted by Jesus, but I wasn't made for comfort. And I tend to be like you, a little on the wild side. So I love, Lisa and I love motorcycle. All three of us are motorcycle mamas. So Brittany's like legit two-wheeler.
I'm not trying to burn my legs.
But you know, I love motorcycles.
It's not smart. It's not.
It's fun,
It's great, though.
Well, if you grew up part Baptist, you're always jonesing for something that allows you to wear leather pants. So, you know, there's a lot to it. But yeah, He's done things like that where there's just this quickening, and it's like my spirit remembers.
Yes.
You know, I was made for this. He's my net. I can walk on any tightrope if the Holy Spirit says this is for you, because He's always my net. I think that's what I've loved about getting older. And there's something about once you lose your metabolism and your tight skin, you're like, okay, what else is next? You're kind of all in. But I do love it when He quickens us, when He reminds us of what we're made for. And it's usually very different than what the world prescribes.
You know, and I love that you talked about motorcycle. My mother is the one that told me never ride a motorcycle. My uncle lost his leg to a motorcycle. And so what I heard when she said, never ride a motorcycle, I heard, buy a motorcycle. That's what I heard. I heard, buy a motorcycle. Because I just hate it when other people put their fears on me. Right. And so I was like, I'm not gonna let you. And then, of course, there was the factor that I only have vision in one eye. That was another reason not to buy a motorcycle. But I just felt like I don't like having limits that are fear motivated put on my life.
Yep.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe today and you'll never miss a new upload.
And don't forget to check out our Better Together shop. Thanks for being a part of our community.